In the heart of a sprawling city, overshadowed by the soaring skyscrapers that seemed to scrape the heavens, lived a young woman named Aiden. Though she was born Nathan, she had long felt a dissonance within her, a persistent, nagging feeling that her outward appearance did not match who she truly was deep inside. For years, she existed in a world that often failed to see her for who she was. Each morning, she would rise, pull up her insecurities like the straps of a heavy backpack, and tread carefully through a life she often felt was not hers. Aiden worked at a local bookstore, surrounded by tales of adventure, love, and self-discovery, but she often felt more like a character between the pages rather than the protagonist of her own story. The sanctuary of books provided her comfort as she quietly connected with characters who battled societal expectations and embraced their true selves. Every story resonated with her soul, opening her eyes to the possibility of change, of becoming who she was always meant to be. One fateful day, a new title caught her attention. It was a thin, unassuming book perched at the edge of a shelf, like a secret waiting to be discovered. The title read, "Becoming the Butterfly, a Journey of Transformation." Intrigued, she opened it and began to read. The author, Maya, spoke of her own journey from a constrained existence to one filled with freedom and authenticity. Each page ignited a spark within Aiden, filling her with a growing desire to seek her own metamorphosis. As she delved deeper into the book, Aiden stumbled upon a line that resonated with her. To truly live is to shed the layers that bind you, no matter how painful that process may be. This hit Aiden hard, echoing the thoughts she had tucked away for so long. What was stopping her from embracing that uncomfortable journey? Was it fear? Doubt? What would the world think of her transformation? The days turned into weeks, and Aiden nurtured the newfound spark with small steps. She began by dressing in a way that felt truer to herself. At first, her decision seemed minor, slipping on a soft sweater in color that reminded her of the sunset, choosing a darker shade of eyeliner that accentuated her eyes. But with each choice, her heart grew lighter, and a glimmer of joy began to replace uncertainty. However, with every small step toward authenticity, she was met with resistance from her surroundings. Colleagues at the bookstore looked at her quizzically. Some whispered, "What's happening to Nathan?" Rumors began to circulate about her choices, wrapping around her like chains that threatened to bind her back into the shadows. There were days when she felt small, overwhelmed by others' judgments and expectations. On those days, despair would creep in, pulling her back toward conformity. In the depths of one such bleak evening, feeling exhausted from battling internal and external conflicts, Aiden wandered to a small park nestled within the city's fabric. It was a quiet place, where the sounds of the bustling streets faded and nature whispered in soft rustles. She sat on a bench, watching a group of children chase colorful kites dancing in the wind. Their laughter filled the air, and it reminded her of a time when she felt free, before the weight of the world dimmed her spirit. As she sat there, a stately old woman approached her. Her hair was silver and her eyes sparkled with wisdom, a knowingness that seemed to radiate from her being. She settled beside Aiden, sensing the heaviness carried in her silence. After a moment of shared stillness, she said, "Beautiful evening, isn't it?" Aiden smiled faintly, not inclined to share her troubles, but feeling an urge to be heard. "Yes," she replied, "but it feels different. Every day feels more like a battle." The woman nodded empathetically. Life is a constant struggle, but it is also filled with moments of pure joy. Have you ever watched a caterpillar? Aiden turned to face her, intrigued. "What do you mean?" "They live their lives inching along, confined to the ground, never knowing the beauty awaiting them. Yet, when the moment is right, they create a cocoon, battling to break free. It is a painful process, but once they emerge, they are transformed, a butterfly soaring through skies they once only dreamed of." Aiden felt a stirring in her heart. She longed for that freedom, but feared the battle. But how do we know if it's worth it? What if we fail? The old woman gave a warm smile. Failure is the very essence of life. Each stumble teaches us about strength, resilience, and, ultimately, transformation. The ones who fly amongst the clouds have failed the most, learned the most, and risen above the fears that once held them back. The colors of their wings tell their stories, stories of pain, endurance, and grace. Aiden pondered these words, and as they echoed in her mind, She felt the chains of self-doubt threatening to shatter. For the first time, she began to comprehend the beauty in her struggle and recognized that this journey of self-discovery was hers alone. With a newfound determination, Aiden returned home that night with a fire ignited within her. The following weeks became a transformative whirlwind. Armed with courage, she decided to share her truth with her family and friends. She knew that some would struggle to understand, but she was no longer willing to hide in the shadows of others' acceptance. When she stood before her friends and family, her heart raced, each beat a reminder of the journey she had traveled. Her voice trembled slightly as she spoke her truth. "I am Aiden," she said clearly, "and I am ready to embrace who I truly am." The reactions were mixed. Some embraced her, while others recoiled. But as weeks slipped into months, Aiden learned that acceptance was often born from understanding. This was not merely Aiden's journey. It was a shared experience for those in her life. With her courage igniting conversations, awareness bloomed slowly in places once darkened by ignorance. In the following months, Aiden took to writing, chronicling her experiences and reflections. It became her form of expression, letting her thoughts flow onto pages that echoed her feelings. The once quiet bookstore where she worked became a place of community, fostering discussions, workshops, and support gatherings for those seeking to embrace their true selves. Aiden missed nothing of the beauty of transformation as she observed others finding their own paths shaped by courage. The long-lost spark of joy flickered into flames, illuminating Aiden's heart as she embraced every moment of her life. She learned to dance in the rain of judgment, to stand tall amid societal expectations, and to rest in the knowledge that her identity was not defined by others, but by who she chose to be. Years later, Aiden stood before a group of new faces in a community center, feeling a sense of fulfillment that radiated from her essence. She delivered speeches to inspire those who battled with their own shadows. Encouraging them to embrace their struggle, she emphasized resilience, the courage to fly, and the beauty of becoming whole. As the audience applauded her, she felt tears streaming down her cheeks. This was not just a culmination of her journey, but a tribute to the many who had touched her life, showing her that through vulnerability, they could find strength. And as the applause washed over her like waves, she realized the truth embedded in her heart. Finding authenticity often begins with acknowledging one's struggle, but the beauty, oh the beauty, lies in the transformation that follows. Aiden went home that evening with a renewed sense of purpose that danced through her veins, a reminder of the battles she had faced and the light she had discovered. The world may constantly change, but in that moment, she understood that she was no longer merely surviving. She was living, thriving, and inspiring others to do the same. At the heart of this story lies a powerful message. No matter the obstacles, recognize that within you exists the potential for profound transformation. The struggle is a path leading to self-discovery, a journey through which you will find your voice, your community, and ultimately, your authentic self. Remember that transformation is seldom easy, but it is deeply beautiful, illuminating the lives of others along the way. Embrace your journey, face your fears, and soar high, for the world awaits your unique light.